Hey, what's up, guys? John here. Are we witnessing the staged collapse of American Democratic-run cities? Well, look at San Francisco, for example. San Francisco was, many would say, a disaster. Feces all over the street, theft, retail crime, smash and grab robberies, follow home robberies, and then in the course of one night, they cleaned up the entire city for Xi Jinping.
San Francisco is suddenly spotless. The junkies are gone, the homeless camps have disappeared, crime evidently is no longer a problem.
Hundreds of public workers clearing homeless encampments, picking up trash and washing graffiti.
Perfect. Beautiful city. They got rid of all the problems, basically overnight. You have to ask yourself, why would they do such a thing and only do it when Xi Jinping comes to town?
Folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
Why not do it across America in a lot of the cities? All the property owners, for the business owners, to keep these cities clean. Maybe this is all planned. Maybe they want these property values to plummet. They want things to fall apart so they can run out there and scoop up these deals for pennies on the dollar with taxpayer revenue. Well, many might call that far-fetched, but after you look at the details, the facts, and the data points, you'll probably agree with me. Take a look at this information. It's pretty crazy. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube will share this content, educate more people about what's really going on, and if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. Take a look at this. So, economist warns big blue cities are seeing really distressing declines. It's almost all of these blue cities that it's San Francisco, it's Oakland, it's Minneapolis, it's my hometown Chicago. Economists said cities run by Democratic mayors including Cincinnati, Ohio, Houston, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Chicago, Portland, Columbus, Seattle, Minneapolis, Louisville, St. Louis, all ranked the bottom 16 of 66 metropolitan cities that have seen the least amount of foot traffic recovery since 2019. And so they used data points to track cell phone activity. But when you look at this, other major players like New York City have seen a 66% decline in foot traffic activity. Philly ranks 49th of 67% recovery. San Francisco, 48th, 67% recovery. St. Louis saw the same lowest foot traffic recovery at 53%. As a result, it shows there's 1/3 less economic activity in the downtown areas of those cities. 1/3. That is shocking. Now, when you look at what's happening to these property values, this skyscraper right here, selling for $70 per square foot. You can't build a home today in America for under $250 a foot. Under $250 a foot, right? You're buying this for $70 per square foot. The owner spent $118 million in upgrades alone in the last 2 decades, last 20 years. Now selling it for $39 million. That is shocking. That is absolutely shocking. Chicago, right? Here, this is in Boston, right? This property in Boston, it's selling for it sold for $4.1 million, and 7 years ago it sold for $16 million. 75% off. 75% off. You have to ask yourself why. Why are they doing this destruction to these cities? It's because they want to buy up these deals. That's why. That's my opinion. But it would seem very unlikely that all these chain of events just happen to, present this opportunity. So it's not just San Francisco office that's getting wrecked. This time it's Dallas. A campus anchored by State Farm sold for $580 million, a $242 million discount to what it sold for in 2017, right? 2016. So $242 million discount. Then you have this, San Francisco, this skyscraper, or this is Los Angeles, downtown LA. This skyscraper is selling for $40 million. You could buy a nice spread, nice house in Beverly Hills for $40 million bucks, right? Buying a skyscraper that if you were, let's say 20 miles away, you could look downtown and see it. I mean, for $40 million, that is insane. This is 334,000 square feet, $119 per square foot in prime downtown LA. This sold in 2016 for $80 million, so 50% off what it sold for in 2016. You have this in San Francisco selling for $150 a foot at $15 million. This entire building for $15 million in San Francisco, right? It formerly sold for $64 million or $641 a foot in 2018. It's just one wreckage after the next. St. Louis, this is selling for $2 per square foot. $2 per square foot. I mean, where are you getting anything for $2 a foot, right? You could go to a third world country and buy something out in the middle of nowhere for probably $2 a foot, maybe if you're lucky, right? This is $2.5 million for this skyscraper. $2.5 million for this skyscraper. You have to ask yourself, well, okay, why? Why is this all happening? Some would say it's interest rates, John. Interest rates went from 3% to 7.5%. These deals no longer make sense. And I would agree. In some part, that is true. But if you look at the chain of events that have unfolded, remember they had the passports. They wanted everyone to have a passport to be able to go into the stores. They had all these different regulations. A lot of these cities were extremely strict, and the lifestyle, many would argue, would be unbearable in a lot of these locations back then. So they were pushing people out, the high net worth earners, pushing them out. And the people that were living in a lot of these areas, in LA, in San Francisco, Oakland, New York City, they had rent control apartments. These rent control apartments are 50 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar. They didn't want to leave. They didn't want to let go of these apartments. They had a reason to stay. Their reason wasn't, they just, conveniently wanted to leave. They didn't want to leave because they couldn't afford to leave. But when you look at what's happening here, they're pushing all this capital out. And then when you look at what the White House is doing, they're bringing forward $34 billion worth of funding for office to residential conversions. So what I believe is going to happen is we're going to continue to see the wreckage throughout the economy over the coming year or so. And as this wreckage starts to get worse and worse and worse, and deals like this in downtown LA start selling for maybe not 40, maybe 15, $18 million. And then they have tax subsidies to go in there and to issue these types of conversions. You're going to start seeing a lot more inventory hit the market here because there's going to be a lot more rentals being developed, a lot more rentals being built. This is already planned. In downtown LA, in the state of California as a whole, they need to bring nearly 3 million new units to market in the next 6 years. How are they going to do this? Office to residential conversions. You have to think, well, what would be the net impact for property owners? Well, in a lot of these nice areas near downtown LA, for example, Silver Lake, Echo Park, even Boyle Heights is really nice. You have a lot of these areas where homes are 70, 100, 900,000, million one, million three, million five, right? What happens when the demographics greatly change, right? You would imagine property values are likely going to continue to fall. And so with it, it's going to be this new ecosystem that's going to be comprised of a lot of dependents, social services. This is going to become much, much, much more prevalent as they start to bring in a lot more people and wages continue to deteriorate and the cost of living continues to rise. So we're going to witness something really, really big. And you can already kind of see this with some very, very similar trends that are happening right now with crime. They're allowing crime to get worse. They're allowing this to kind of normalize. In Los Angeles, in Oakland, San Francisco, Houston, New York City, Seattle, Atlanta, Sacramento, Chicago, Denver, Miami, and Albuquerque, these cities have the highest crime rate in America. This is according to this list. So when you start to look at this, they're allowing crime to continue to skyrocket. Why? Why are they doing this? Well, I believe we're going to start stepping into a situation, like for example in Los Angeles, there was a situation that unfolded in a bus in downtown LA, and they brought in a robo-cop that literally went, it was like a little robo dog that went on the bus and got the person out of the bus. They didn't risk any lives with police officers going in, none of that. Robotics did it. What I think is going to happen is we're going to start seeing a lot of these deals get scooped up. Then you're going to start seeing surveillance really start to pick up heavily in these cities at levels in which many people can't realize. Drones, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But it's going to be a slow erosion of property values, I believe, in a lot of these cities all throughout America over the next couple of years. And we're going to blink our eyes, 2027, we're going to be like, where are we? Is this the new normal? The answer is yes, it is the new normal. You're already seeing it. If you look at even patterns between Rite Aid, look at Walgreens, look at a lot of these stores, they're all closing up because of theft. And they're all bringing in technology and robotics. They're all bringing in technology in a way in which they can manage their theft. They can manage who's coming in. They can track and monitor every single person that's coming in. They have facial recognition. They have all of these different things that humans simply aren't capable of providing. Even if they hired a lot more people, even if rules and legislations and all these things changed around crime, it still would not be half as cost effective as what they're going to start to bring in, which is going to be reduced labor, increased surveillance, and increased dependency. What do you think about this? Drop your comments below. I mean, $2 a foot. I mean, that is absolutely shocking to see that number. And you see these skyscrapers at $40 million. You think about that. If someone comes in, buys that building for $40 million, even if they rented it as an office, for example, that they kept it the same, what would that mean for all the competitors that have office, right? They have a much higher cost base. They're not going to be able to compete with someone that comes in there and buys that building for $40 million when this building has $180 million worth of debt on it, hypothetically, $200 million of debt on this one. There's just no way, right? We're witnessing the biggest power grab in American history, and it's unfolding in some of the most expensive cities all throughout America. Drop your comments below. We'll have a conversation about it. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. Catch you in the next video.